Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Today we're looking at this guitar. Just a quick little video today. This is a PRS SE Singlecut, and I know what you're thinking. Didn't you already review a PRS SE Singlecut a few weeks ago? And indeed, I did. But the main difference between that guitar and this one, which doesn't belong to me, by the way, it belongs to one of my students. Same chap who lent me the Indie IPR1 guitar, by the way. So this is another one of his collection. The main difference between that previous PRS and this one is the timbre that it's made from. This is an SE Singlecut Korina. Korina is apparently a species of wood which is very closely related to the mahogany that the previous PRS was made from. But Korina is often known as limber, by the way. That's another name for it, and it sometimes gets referred to as super mahogany. If you are of a persuasion where you believe that the timbre that the guitar is made from has some impact on the amplified sound of that guitar, then the received wisdom in such circles is that Korina is a lighter, airier, brighter kind of sounding mahogany type timbre. It's been described to me as it's a little bit like what swamp ash is to alder, for example. Same sort of ballpark, but a bit brighter and more transparent sounding. So I thought it would be a good idea to compare this guitar with the supposedly identical guitar, but just made with different timbers, the previous PRS, the mahogany, maple, etc. Now obviously I don't still have that guitar. It's sold, with proceeds going to Zoe's Place Baby Hospice, and I just want to say once again a massive thank you to everybody who's supporting that fundraising campaign that I'm running. There'll be another update video on that very soon. I don't still have that guitar, obviously, but I do have the sound clips that I recorded with it, and I thought it would be a good idea to perhaps just record the same sound clips on this guitar, put them side by side and see if there's any difference. So here's what I did. Okay, we're going to hear 3 sounds from each guitar, starting with the neck pickup on a clean sound. Then we'll go to the bridge pickup on a driven sound, but with the guitar's volume rolled back to give more of a crunchy power chord, classic rock kind of thing. And then finally full throttle, maximum volume, bridge humbucker, high gain, shouty stuff. Well, quite obviously something is making a difference there. What could it be? Well, is it the pickups on the guitar? That will probably be the first suspect thing that you might think was different. Well, PRS pickup specs are quite difficult to come by. They aren't really kind of published, or you certainly won't find any information about them on the PRS website, not easily anyway. But the research I've done, is that this guitar dates from 2009 and the previous PRS dates from 2007. And, you know, just trawling various web forums and stuff, there doesn't seem to be any idea that there was a massive sea change in the way that PRS were making their SE pickups in that time period. So I'm going to assume that the pickups are, to all intents and purposes, identical. Was I recording the guitar with different settings? Well, no, I wasn't. I was using the same patches on the Vox Tone Lab that I use all the time. I don't change them. They are what they are, and they're stored, and I haven't changed them. And so that's, not an issue. Did I record it differently into a different DAW, process it differently? No, absolutely not. Exactly the same settings. Then we're getting down to things like the real minutiae of like, well, was I using the same guitar lead? Yes, I was. Were the pickup heights the same? Well, yes, I can state categorically that they were, because one of the things I do with all of the guitars that come through here is give them a bit of a setup, including setting the pickup heights, and that's what I've done to this guitar, and I set the same, I set that previous PRS up exactly the same way, so the pickup heights are the same, and so everything's the same apart from the timbre that the guitar is made from, and both guitars sound different. There is an obvious conclusion there, isn't there? I will state at the moment that I am still something of an agnostic on this whole thing. I think there is a difference between, well, clearly there is a difference in sound between this guitar and the previous PRS. I actually prefer the sound and the look of this one, to be honest with you. I'm kind of getting more into the whole sort of stripped down blue collar looking guitars these days, rather than the fancy quilted mother of pearl and flamed abalone and gold plated maple and etc. That sort of look just doesn't really do it for me anymore, but fair enough, each to their own. This guitar does sound different to the previous one. But then again, I've played, lots and lots of Telecasters over the years. Telecasters with ash bodies, with poplar bodies, with alder bodies, with basswood bodies, and they all pretty much sound just like Telecasters to me. So, sometimes I think that the timbre does make a difference, and other times I think, well, it's not making any difference here. All I'm saying is, between these two supposedly identical PRSs, there is a difference, and the only thing that I can locate, which is an obvious difference between the two guitars, is the timbre that it's made from. So that's my conclusion here. If you have any opinions, any further information that I was unable to dig up, or just any thoughts on this matter at all, then please feel free to leave a comment down below. Be interested in hearing what your take on it is. And I'll just close the video now by saying, as I always do, that there is a course on sale on my website, Making the Modes Easy, and it does exactly what it says on the tin. It makes the modes nice and easy. Loads of licks, jam tracks, explanations, all in plain English, no jargon. It's for sale on the Udemy tuition platform, where it's getting all kinds of lovely things said about it, 4- and 5-star reviews. So if you're interested in learning a little bit about modes, then go and check that out. Or if you prefer some tailored one-to-one guitar tuition, then get in touch with me via the details at the end of this video. And as always, if you live on Teesside in the northeast of England, you can come along for a face-to-face lesson, or wherever else you are in the world. I also do lessons via Skype, and whichever way you do it, your first lesson is of course free, so what have you got to lose? And with that, I'll bid you all a good day, say thank you for watching, and I do look forward to seeing you all again next time around. Bye for now, folks.